how you see yourself affects every area of your life. So if you take a moment and think about the way that you perceive yourself, the way that you experience yourself, who you believe you are, what you think about yourself, this is just one big mental construct that says, this is who I believe I am. And if that mental construct, the way you see yourself, doesn't work for you, the beautiful thing about being a human being with consciousness and free will and understanding how you function as a human being and using your spirituality for the truth of who you are, the beautiful thing is you can change your mental construct so it works for you. If your mental construct, the way you see yourself, is that you are broken or that you are not deserving or that you're not capable or anything at all that does not serve you, suit you, feel good, align with your goals, then I wouldn't say it's got to go, because you can choose to keep it if you want, but you don't need to. You can offload it. You can change the way you see yourself. And when you change the way you see yourself, your experience of life changes, because you are the center of your reality. You are the center of your universe, whether you like it or not, because everything that is occurring for you inside yourself and in your life is happening through your consciousness, through you perceiving and interpreting and interacting with yourself, life, and other people. So you are the center of your reality. And so then it just starts to make really logical sense that if you want to shift your experience of your reality, you've really got to look at how you're perceiving everything, why it is that you perceive that way, and most importantly, actually, it's very rarely got to do with the way you're perceiving other people in life. It's primarily driven from how you are seeing yourself and your relationship to yourself, which is why you will always hear everywhere through personal development, personal growth, self-help, and spirituality, love yourself, accept yourself, have a healthy relationship with yourself. Because that, again, is the absolute core foundation, because the way you interact with life is based on your perception of whether you feel you're complete, whether you believe you're worthy, whether you believe you're deserving. If you have funky, skewed beliefs in not a good way about who you are and whether you're good enough and whether you're deserving and worthy, then you're going to show up and interact with life from that self-perception. You're going to show up and tell life in your words, your behavior, your actions, your energies, your feelings, everything. You're going to tell life that that's what you think you're worth and that's who you think you are. And then we have relationships with other people, and we have relationships with, our work, and we have relationships with opportunities, and we have relationships with problems, and we have relationships with money, and we have relationships with all these dynamics in life. And if the way you see yourself is skewed in any way toward not something enough, not worthy, not deserving, not complete, not capable, then that is who shows up. And that is the message that gets projected into all the areas of your life. And it doesn't have to stay that way. In fact, it's destiny for you to awaken, to shift your self-perception, and to stand up powerfully and strongly upon an anchor of who you really are. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you some of the ways that life and your soul attempt to awaken you to this, so that you can see yourself for who you really are. And when you do, you bring that true you into every area of your life, and stuff starts to change. It's called magic.
You're listening to Practical Spirituality with B, the podcast with spiritual advice for your everyday life. helping you align with your soul so you can live with purpose, fulfillment, and magic. I'm Bernadette Logue. You can call me B, and I'm excited to share this episode with you.
Okay, so let's dive in. When you were born, one day, many years ago, you arrived into this world as the pure spirit or soul that you are into a little body called a human being. And throughout your life today, you have picked up perceptions about who you think you are and what you think life is based on some things like your upbringing, what your parents taught you, what your grandparents taught you, what the culture that you were raised in taught you, what institutions and indoctrination systems taught you, whether it was schooling, authority, the government, your faith base, whatever it is. We are all subject to what I call the conditioning. And while you are a pure, timeless, eternal, free spirit, you are also subject to this human ride called life, and you chose to come here for this experience. And this conditioning, no one escapes it. Everybody experiences it. And it's not a case of focusing on the conditioning. It's a case of focusing on awakening to it and seeing it for what it is, and then coming home to the truth of who you really are, so you can see yourself accurately for who you are. And when you do, you bring that truth, that freedom into every area of your life, and your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, your behavior, your choices, and your actions represent the free spirit that you were born as. And then life is responding to that, and things start to shift. So I want to pose something to you, and that is that everything throughout your life journey, all the good, all the seeming bad, all the highs, all the lows, everything is a call from source and from your soul to awaken you to who you really are. Okay, so proposing this to you again, everything on your life journey, what you call good, bad, high, low, right, wrong, challenges, opportunities, exciting stuff, difficult stuff, is a call at every moment, like a phone ringing, ring, ring, are you going to answer it? To get you to awaken to who you really are and to come home to embody who you really are, so you can live your life while you're still here as an awakened being, bringing the soul of you at the forefront, so your soul, your spirit, your free self is driving the car, is leading the way, is chair of the meeting of your life, instead of the conditioning, instead of the small self. And here are some interesting ways that it happens, that you get this call, this shout out. Life has this interesting way of attempting to garner your attention to what is going on your soul journey, but it is very subtle. And if you are not consciously awake and a person who is aware of how life is speaking to you, then you'll just miss it. It's really common. Like, I did not notice this for decades of my life, and when I awoke to it, now I see it everywhere, and it fascinates me. So life wants to help you awaken inside this dream. And what I mean is wake up, awaken consciously to be operating in this world, knowing the truth, that the world is not just 3D, you are not just a human body, right? There is a whole beyond the veil, amazing, magical, energetic reality, and this human incarnation is just one aspect of reality, and it's a soul journey you are on, and you were soul before you arrived, and you will be soul after your body is laid aside from this lifetime. And we want you awakened inside this human life experience so that you can evolve, so that you can bring forth your soul gifts and your soul understanding in every area of your life. You can dance and play with life and have this incredible soul journey be your optimal experience for your learning, for your healing, for your growth, for your contribution, all of which is your purpose. So here's how life does that. Number one, it sends you signs. It attempts to awaken you with repeating messages, themes to point you to things you need to know and understand about yourself so you can start to see the truth of yourself. So if you are interested in divine signs and synchronicities and life guiding you, that is my jam. I love this stuff. I've written books about this. I'm all about it in my program and my coaching. So when life wants you to start to awaken to something, to see yourself accurately, it has ways of reaching you through people, conversations, information. And when you start to notice repeating messages where it's all pointing to the same thing, you want to start to pay attention. Another way that life helps you is through synchronicities. So when you notice synchronicities, you want to start to pay attention. They help you to awaken. They help you to understand yourself more. They can sometimes be pointing you in a direction that it is beneficial for you to go. But here is the main way that I love that life can awaken you so you can see yourself accurately. Okay? If you're walking around inside a dream and you're not seeing the truth, and you're carrying a lot of baggage about who you think you are, and you're telling yourself a negative story inside your mind all the time about who you are, and you're not this enough and you're not that enough. Life does this fascinating thing when you're not getting it. It will start to mirror your issue to you in life around you and in other people. So I've noticed this, like when I've needed to wake up to something, life will send me people, whether it's in my social network, in my family, or in my work, and the people that are coming into my zone will start talking about having this particular issue or feeling this particular way. And I'll pause and I'll be like, why are all these people showing up with the same message, with the same problem, running the same loop or talking about the same thing? And I'll realize, oh my gosh, I'm doing that too. And so I'll realize it's a call to help me awaken. And this is how, fascinatingly, our paths all intertwine. And we end up all crossing paths with each other to bump each other, to prod each other awake, to help each other get more into our soul alignment. So life is doing this in a myriad of ways. And when you start to really realize life is having a relationship with you, source energy, the universe has a relationship with you, and life is always speaking to you, you will start to pay attention. And it is to help you change the way you see yourself. Sometimes that means by awakening you to the untruths that you have been believing about yourself so you can recognize them and make a shift. The second way that you can awaken to ways that you're seeing yourself that don't work is by your gut feeling, your instinct, your intuition. Something feels off. Something feels dissonant. Listen to your feeling state and your intuition, right? Your intuition is the deeper knowing and also just the surface level of all your feelings. When something feels off and not right, it's usually because it is not right and is off. And so you start to recognize, oh, I'm seeing myself in a certain way. I'm treating myself in particular ways. Like if you see yourself as undeserving, you will treat yourself that way. If you see yourself as less than, you will treat yourself that way. It will come out in what you allow yourself to have, be, and do, the way you communicate with other people. And so listen to your gut, listen to your heart, listen to your intuition. When something feels off, it's usually because it is. And so we have outer life guidance trying to awaken us to see ourselves differently. And we have inner guidance attempting to tell us the way you're seeing yourself is inaccurate. It's time to drop that game and it's time to claim a new season for yourself and your life. Okay, the third way that you can be helped to change the way you see yourself, so you can see yourself as the soul that you really are, is you can use your intelligence. Proactively sit down with your journal and use the intelligence that you have been gifted as a human being to see things accurately. Gather the data and the evidence. Here we go. Where did you come from? Source. Who made you? Not your parents. Who made you? Divinity, the universe made you. It doesn't make mistakes. It made you perfectly, designed exactly as you needed to be when you were born and popped into this world. If you revere divinity, if you revere source, if you have unconditional love for life and the universe, and you pray and you have faith and you all of those things, then here's what you need to know. You are source, universe, God, divinity, creation, manifest in human form. It is you, it made you, it breathes you. So who are you to think less of yourself? You are not broken, you are not unworthy, you are not undeserving, you are not good enough. You are none of those things because you are source, God, creator, divinity, the universe made manifest. Use your intellect and your logic to understand this. When you're born, that is who you were born as. You would not debate this with me if I showed you a newborn baby. You would say, of course that baby's good enough and worthy and deserving, okay? That baby is you. Use your intelligence to understand the logic of this. What happened then to have you sitting as an adult, seeing yourself negatively, treating yourself that way because you've come to believe something negative about yourself? And the answer is, you picked up conditioning that does not belong to you. And so you crack the validity of the mental construct that you've had about yourself your whole life. And a crack is all that's required to let in the light of truth. And that is where the change begins, when you can crack the validity of the old stories just enough to introduce some truth from a faith perspective, from an intellectual perspective, from an intuitive perspective, and from the perspective of all the ways that life is mirroring to you messages to try to awaken you inside the dream, to see yourself accurately. And here's the truth of you in case no one's ever told you. You are good enough, you are enough, you are worthy, you are deserving, you are whole, you are complete. You are valid, you are valuable, you are valued, you are loved, you are accepted, you belong, you are safe. Full stop. Not when you fix something about yourself, not a little bit later when you figure things out, not when you finally achieve some goals or resolve some issues. You are all of those things right now, loved and accepted as who you were because you were made perfectly, divinely, the way you are for a reason, and you were born into life. And guess what? Being human is messy, and there is nothing wrong with that. And so when we talk about changing the way we see ourselves, my invitation to you today is this. Will you see yourself as the universe sees you? Will you see yourself as divinity, God, creator sees you? Will you see yourself as it made you? And stop wronging things about yourself that are just messy, natural human stuff. And can you and will you attempt, try emphasize this? I'm willing to love and accept myself for who I really am and who I was born as, and all the messy human stuff too. Am I willing, am I open to the idea of loving and accepting myself and seeing myself as good enough, worthy, deserving, whole, complete, supported, belonging? Because I am source made manifest, divinity made manifest, it doesn't make mistakes. And include in that all my quirks, weaknesses, strengths, failings, mistakes, opportunities, all of it. Love and accept all of it. And not wrong it and not wrong myself in the process. Knowing that you signed up for this ride called life, all of this is part of your soul journey. None of it is wrong per se. But what we do when we start to awaken and see ourselves accurately as soulful beings, as pure light, as love, as here on a journey, when we see ourselves that way, we have an opportunity to drop what does not align. We don't have to wrong it and try hard to fix ourselves. Just recognize it's not the truth of who you are. And then lean more into who you really are and do the things to heal the rifts in your psyche and your emotions and your nervous system. But there is a difference between I see the truth, I lean into it, and I'm healing the things that do not feel right, to the idea of I'm trying hard to fix myself, which inherently in that statement comes with a footnote, PS, if I'm trying to fix myself, I must be broken. Right? Versus, oh, I'm realizing I'm a divine being, I'm a soul, I'm leaning into that, and I'm noticing all the stuff that other people and society gave me, which I'm now giving back. And in the process, I'm going to lovingly heal my mind and soothe my emotional system and soothe my nervous system as I go about it. And this whole process of coming to see yourself accurately and leaning into these truths about yourself is completely game-changing, because as you go out and you deal with your career opportunities, you go to meetings, you socialize with people, you go on dates, you're trying to, create new social friendships or loving relationship, or you're dealing with your money, or you're doing some investing, or you're thinking about changing your lifestyle, or whatever it is, as you go about those things, you are coming from a place of, I'm a soul in the middle of a 3D reality having a ride called life, and I am divinity, God, creator, made manifest, and all of that supports me, and the truth is I'm good enough, worthy, deserving, loved, safe, belonging, and okay, I can do this. I want to do this. This is amazing. And then you might see shadows come up, shadows of, hang on a minute, that's not who you are. You're not good enough because so-and-so said so, or you're not worthy because that's what you learned growing up, or whatever it is. You see the shadows, you feel the shadows, but they are not running you. You're seeing them from your soulful self, versus you're lost in the weeds of them and you're totally merged with them where you can't see the truth. So in summary, it's really important how you see yourself. When you see yourself in a way that doesn't feel good, it's an opportunity to awaken to who you really are. Who you really are is divinity made manifest, source, God, creator, universe. And you can start to lean into that, and life will help you awaken to those things by sending you mirrors, things that will mirror it to you, signs and synchronicities. Your gut will start to tell you the truth. You can use your intelligence to identify it. And what you want to start to do is wake every day and try on for size, I'm willing to accept that there is a greater truth about who I am, and I'm no longer willing to buy the story that my mental construct has been telling me, because it's conditioned believing and thinking, and I picked it up along the way, and I would rather believe in my soul and source than I would believe in all of these negative stories. And then the journey of life is the incremental day by day stepping up in the morning and choosing to live from that truth of who you really are. Seeing yourself accurately, having reverence for yourself. And I'm going to finish this episode by just saying this. Again, if you honor, love, and have love for God, creator, divinity, the universe, source, energy, whatever you believe in as this greater aspect, whatever you call it, where you come from, and that gives life to you and everything. If you love that and revere that, it is time to treat yourself with the same level of reverence and love and respect, because you are it. It is you. It gave life to you. It continues to have you be here. That is the core nature of you. And when you treat yourself in thoughts, words, behavior, actions that have you treated as less than that, it continues the cycle of illusion and continues the pain. And so there's this beautiful awakening to start to treat yourself with care, to honor yourself, your body, your being, your past, your present, your heart, your yearnings, your longings, all of it. If you need more help with this, come over and visit me at my website, www.bernadettelogue.com. There are a couple of things that can help you with that. The first thing is there is a free masterclass on my website. If you go to the homepage, it's right there on the top menu. You can sign up for that. That webinar masterclass will take you through 3 really important steps that will help you to further awaken to all of this, really dig in each step to help you become more soul aligned in how you understand yourself, see life. And there are 3 elements there. We talk about seeing the truth, we talk about clearing the fog of conditioning, and we talk about designing and creating and blossoming in your soul aligned life. Okay, so that is really probably the best resource that I would recommend off the back of this particular episode. If this episode and the last episode about seeing the truth resonated with you, then go and grab that masterclass free. Another resource you can get on my website is my book, Your Soul Journey Simplified. So on the homepage of my website, just click on book and you can purchase that book. It's $4.99, and that goes through an A to Z of understanding yourself as a soul and why you're here in life, your purpose, your 11-stage soul journey that takes you from the beginning of your life to the end of your life and everything in between, and how your life journey is overlapping your soul journey. And all these things that are going on in your life have spiritual significance for you, for awakening you inside the dream so you can live fully as the soul you are while you're here. It's been a pleasure to share this episode with you. I'm sending a lot of love to you wherever you are in the world, and I'm looking forward to being here again with you really soon. If you're coming over to my website, I'll see you there. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Practical Spirituality with Bea. I'll talk to you next episode for more spiritual advice for your everyday life, helping you align with your soul so you can live with purpose, fulfillment, and magic.